Hello, this is Manesh Patel with Ichimoku Trade. Today we're going to talk about backtesting, and what we're going to do is we're going to show you how to set up Forex Tester, a simple application that's very cheap that you could buy, and you could sit there and set that up to backtest any Ichimoku strategy for any time frame. Now, before we begin, I always like to talk about why backtesting is key. Backtesting is one of the reasons for my success, and there's a couple of reasons for it. And you have to be very careful when you're doing backtesting, because too much backtesting is not good and too little backtesting is not good at all. The whole idea of backtesting is to take a trading plan and to see how it did in the past. If it didn't work in the past, there's no probability of it ever working in the future. So you have to make sure it at least works in the past. If it works in the past, it's got a high probability of working now and also in the future. Okay? The second thing is that the trading plan that you execute, as you backtest bar by bar by bar, it helps you practice that trading plan to a point it becomes a natural habit. It takes the emotions out and helps you execute that trading plan completely with charts. So that's the two main reasons for backtesting. So let's begin, and let's begin the journey. Before we begin, let's go for a normal disclaimer to state this is for education use only. We're not soliciting you to buy or sell any particular instrument. If you do so, you're doing that at your own risk. All information is owned by EII Capital Group. It cannot be copied or distributed without our written permission. We are broker neutral. Today we're going to be talking about Forex Tester, but we support almost every application, brokerage, and charting platforms out there. Now here's all my contact details here. You could email us here at info@eiicapital.com. You could also call me at this information here. Now, one of the things we did do is we talked to Forex Tester, and since we've been sitting there showing people how to use Forex Tester, they came back and offered a nice little deal where a lot of people could get a little discount. It's not much, but it's still something, where if you go to this link here, you could pretty much buy it at a special promotional price. Also here, this gives you a link of an old video I created years ago. A lot of people still like that, so that's still there, and you guys are more than welcome to watch it there too. But this one's going to give you a new one, especially correct the issues with the Ichimoku indicator that you have with the Forex Tester. So let's begin and start discussing everything. Now this is the Forex Tester loaded up on my machine. So this is right here licensed. A couple of things you can do if you're not registered or you want to activate a data service, you could go into the help menu, register, and activate data services. Okay. Now when you start up your Forex Tester, is going to come up in different screen modes. Okay, this one right here is coming up in the history mode. So there's two modes, history and testing. Okay, now our goal is to sit there and show you how to do backtesting of Forex Tester. Forex Tester gives you the ability to also trade live, but that's not what we're going to cover in this video. Our goal is to show you the testing mode. So the very first thing you need to do if you're an Ichimoku trader is you need to install the correct Ichimoku indicator. Their indicator they have is a little shifted, so what we've done is we've modified it. So what you could do is you could email us at info@eiicapital.com and you could request a new indicator. Once we send you the DLL file, save it onto your computer, come in here and say install, and install new indicator. At that point the computer will ask you where that file is, and you could see this is the file here. I went ahead and put it into my Forex directory. Okay, and what I did was I put it right there. I click on OK, and basically it will install the indicator. Now it's called Ichimoku. Theirs is called Ishimoku, which is different, so you can see the difference between the two. Once you've done that, what you need to do is download the data. So in order to do that, what you have to do is go to File, Data Center. Now depending on what subscription you have, you may have many different options in here. So the very first thing you need to do is click on whatever instruments you're interested in. So I'm going to click on a couple of these, but you can click on all, but right now due to time I'm just going to click on one. Okay, I'm going to click on Australian US yen, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this board by 3. Okay, by doing this, what will happen is it'll set up the currencies so that basically they start 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Sunday, and they'll go all the way to Friday Eastern Standard Time at 5 p.m. and that's pretty much how most of the institutional banks, the interbanks, work. So you need to make sure you do that. If you keep this on the default settings, what's going to happen is the Ichimoku charts are going to vary, and if you compare them to like other platforms such as freestockcharts.com, eSignal, Thinkorswim, TradeStation, or any other vendors, you're going to start seeing various big differences, especially if you're looking at any time frames below the daily. So in order to set this up, just like every other platform and every other chart, you need to make sure you use the Ichimoku indicator that we give you, and then you also for this plus 3 bars. Now, once you do that, you come up here and say click on update server here, and then say download new history. Okay, or you could select this here, download part of history right here, and you could do this. Now you want to do all of that from those dates, and the reason why is that we're shifted this and we don't know what the old data is. So this is going to take us a couple of minutes, and it's going to sit there and download this data here. Now, while this is doing that, once you download the data here, then what you got to do is generate the ticks. Okay, because just because you downloaded data does not mean it's ready to go. What happens is they stored all this information as compressed files. So when you click on this, it downloads all the data, 1 minute data, and then when you click on generate ticks, it generates the data for backtesting. Okay, so now I'm going to do that. I'm just waiting for this to occur. So just 46 more seconds it's going to occur. We could do that. Now the good thing about Forex Tester is that they support all these currencies here. They do support other currencies. You could go to their data center website to find them, or if you do have your own Forex broker that has data, you could import the information here, import file. So Forex Tester actually allows you to sit there and do various different things, which a lot of backtesting systems will not allow you to do. Okay, so we're almost done here. It's taken a little over a minute. So this is one thing I like to do, is just click on all these, shift it, and download it, and go to sleep. And by the time I wake up, it's all pretty much all ready to go. Now we're just waiting for this to finish. 98%, 99, and now it's unzipping, as you could see. Okay, and now that's done. It's loading bars. Remember, the different type of service here will give you different functionalities. So I'm showing you this is generic to all of them. I'm signed in as VIP service, so I have access to various different data feeds out there. But if you have a VIP service, you could actually choose from different data feeds, and I'll talk about that in just a moment once this is done. This is just rebuilding. We're just waiting for this to be done, and it's done. So if you have a VIP service, you have the ability to choose different brokerage platforms in here. I just kept it on Forex Lite because that's the standard one that they give you. Now, once that's done, then come over here, generate clicks right here. Notice this comes from here, okay? Now, one thing you need to make sure is in here, when you clicked on update service, you did what? Right here, download here, right? Now, you could sit there and do this here. Well, maybe we should have done this one. I thought this was 2001, so we should have done it here, which is basically download new history right there, okay? Or what you could have done was set this to the very beginning. But this right here is going to generate the ticks here, and you need to make sure that this date here and that end date matches what you downloaded. Over here it says generate here, and then here you could sit there and click on this, okay? If you have a normal subscription, you click on this. Otherwise you could just keep it off, but I'll click on that there, and what this does, it generates the ticks for you. Now we'll go ahead and just do that for you here. And this is ready to go. Now this is ready to go, so I could exit this here. They do have another place where you could generate the ticks here for testing mode, so you could come in here and also do the same thing right here. Click on generate, and it'll do the same thing over there, okay? That way, if you want to do it as two separate things, you can do that. Now, once you've done that, you're now ready to backtest. So first thing I'm going to do is put this in testing mode. Okay. Once I did it in testing mode, now what I want to do is I want some charts. So I'm going to come in here, add a chart right here, and boom, it added a chart here. Now this is a 1 minute chart. You could sit there and go in and say, okay, you know what, I want a 30-minute chart. If you click on this here, this allows you to sit there and go in and customize your chart. So if you're not a 1-minute trader, if you like a 15-minute trading, you could come in here and say add time, and you could sit there and customize to whatever time frames you want. Okay, so you could come in here, you could do that. I like to sit there and come in here, and once you get one chart going, you could come in here and set up various different options in here. I don't like the grid at all, so I'm going to delete the grid there. So you could say I don't want to show volume at all, since that deals with all that. Color code schemes, you could sit there and change your candle bars here. Let's say I want my candle bars to be a light blue, so I could come in here and do that here for blue, candle up. I'm not going to change that, but anyways, let me just come in here and change the grid off at least here. So, and then get rid of the volume, which is what I like to do here. Now, once you've done that, then what you want to do is you want to add the Ichimoku indicator in here. Okay, so if you do add indicator in here, notice there's two indicators, Ichimoku and Ichimoku. Ichimoku is the one we imported. So I'm going to click on that, click on apply, and then it basically adds the Ichimoku indicator here for the 30-minute here. Okay, and if you don't like the colors in here, you could go in and you could change them. You could do plus, minus, all this stuff here. Let's say you don't like the colors, you could come in here and say, okay, you know what, I want the Chical span here to be a purple line, and choose that to be there, click OK, and boom. Oops, there we go. Okay, now you will go ahead and the very first thing you do is you add all the charts that you want, all the different time frames. You have to go in and you can set this up. So let's see, that's a 30-minute. Let's change this to a 1 hour. Show grid, show volume, click OK, add indicator. Now once you do this, you don't have to keep on doing this, but what you want to do is you want to go ahead and set up all your charts, whatever time frames you want. So let's say I want to do 4 of them. So there's that one, and let's see, that was 1 hour. Let's make this a 4 hour. Show volume, show grid. Let's add the Ichimoku indicator. And then one more. Let's say you looking at 4 time frames at one time for back testing. For some people that's too much, but for my students that's accurate. So I'm going to come in here and do that. And then come in here, add the Ichimoku indicator. Boom. Now you got that. Now what I want to do is I want to tile these guys. So I don't want to cascade. Let's do them vertically there. So now daily, 1 hour and all that. Now I like my lower time frames here, so I'm going to do this at 30-minute. And look what happened when I did a 30-minute. Daily got messed up. Do you guys see that? So this is kind of key, where you kind of probably line up all your windows here, then set up your time frames here. So 30-minute, 1 hour, 4 hour, and let's change that to daily. And then add the Ichimoku indicator. And then over here, over here, add that there too. Okay, now once you have everything set up, you could save these as templates. So you could come in here and say templates, and you could say save. So you could save this as a template, and then you could recall it back there. Okay, now that you have everything there, let's start back testing. So if we start back testing, I'm going to click on the start test here. It's going to ask me when to start, and if you look at here, the first date is basically January 3rd, 2001. If I want to start from a different date, I could do that there. Okay, so now over here, I'm going to go ahead and say click on start test. There's no data right now, and you can see it's moving 1 bar at a time here. Now if I pause it here, this will tell you how fast it's moving. It's 1 bar 30 minutes at a time. So initially I kind of want more bars to show up, so the Ichimoku indicator build up. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that 4 hour, and I could start it playing, or I could move bar by bar by bar, 1 space at a time. And notice it builds out 4 hours at a time. Okay, and you could see I'm kind of looking for, since I'm doing a 4 time frame analysis, I really need the daily time frame to come through. So I need to allow enough bars to come through for the daily to come forward-fledged. Now you don't have to do it that way. You can start back testing if you want now, but this is the way we're going to do it here. can see here we're moving forward. Now the daily's starting to form. You got a little cloud here, and now you can start back testing here. And you can see I can put my mouse over here. If you look here, this gives you all the Ichimoku values right there and all there. You could sit there and put lines in here. So you click on here and put a line here, right there. You can see that line there, and you could say duplicate. You basically duplicate it here so you could have it right there. Okay. So you have that there. You also have the ability to do text, labels. There's a crosshair here. And you could see here you could draw different things and different tools and stuff like that. There's many things in here that you can do. I'm not going to go for every one of them here, but you could see you could go by tick in here and so forth. Okay. Other thing is, so now once you get enough data, you could go by whatever increment you want. You could go back a couple of bars. You could go forward a couple of bars. You could do it whichever way you want, but it gives you the ability to pretty much do anything in here that you want. Now, one of the things you could play with, you come in here and chart settings in here, and you could see a lot of different things you could play with, all these different options, where you could change the screen to whatever you like. You could have the grid lines in there too. You could do all that information in here. Okay. Well, there was something else in here I wanted to show you. So you could place orders in here too. Notice here on backtesting mode, you could place orders in here where you could get them filled and so forth. Okay, you could see here, you could see volumes, you could show period separators, you could get rid of all that stuff. You could do all those things in here. You have Fibonacci, you have wave symbols, you have drawings in here, you have everything in here that you could think of that you could draw, possibly do. Okay. So that gives you a complete idea here, but one of the key things is that if you place orders here, you could actually see down here the orders fill. You could say open positions, the account, and everything. So this actually fills through. So if you actually place orders, you have everything there that you need. Okay. I think that's it. If you guys have any more questions, you could feel free to give us a call or contact us. Here's our contact details here. But that's it for today. I hope you enjoy it, and good luck with backtesting.